I don't know about you guys, but I've always had a certain type of love for myself where there's certain things about myself that I actually like, and there's certain things about myself where I don't want to change. And being forced to be a 9 to 5 wagey is something that is going to just destroy certain pieces of myself that once they're destroyed, I'll never get them back, or it's going to be very difficult to get those certain elements about yourself, back. And I noticed that it was the world that made me dislike myself and make me question myself and question my confidence. It was the world. It was the people around me. It was the environments, the toxicity from teachers and classmates and peers. And generally, it was external forces that made me feel depressed on the inside. There was always things about myself that I liked. I liked that I learned, or I like learning about secret knowledge. I like that I don't just think on the surface. I think deeply and intuitively. I know that there's something wrong with this world. And I like how I'm able to look at secrets and mysteries, and I have a proclivity for secrets and mysteries. I like that about myself. I like how I like music. I like anime. I like cool stuff. I like good video games. Like these are things that I like about myself, and I like how I'm able to gain spiritual awareness and know what's going on in the world and see behind the scenes. Like these are things I like about myself. But when I get a 9 to 5 and whenever you got to do like things where you have to submit your time for money, you're going to lose a lot of happiness because you're going to be in situations and events where your boss is going to yell at you, your coworkers are going to pick at you. You may be just in an emotional fatigue where you don't feel like doing anything, but you have to because you need the money, and it could be a very bad situation, right? And whenever you're in those desperate situations where you're forced to not be yourself, like this world robs you of individuality. This world robs you of being unique. That's one thing I learned about this world, is that the world doesn't want you to be unique. The world wants you to be boxed. They want you to be categorized inside something that people can define quickly and instantaneously. The world doesn't like people that are complex with a myriad of talents and complicated emotions and different types of other productive fluctuations. The world doesn't like that. The world likes things that are simple. The people that run the world, they like to be able to categorize you and catalog you within seconds. And if you're like us, some of us are extremely talented, but we're extremely broke and we're extremely mentally ill. So we have like the combination for failure. Meanwhile, like Chad and Tyrone and everybody else, they got the combination for success. It's a real brutal world when you really look at it. When you really look at how this world is implemented, integrated, and designed, you can see that it was perfectly designed to be a hell realm. This is not a loving, caring place at all. I really don't understand it. I don't understand how, out of all the types of existences we can have, we get this one, and we get an existence where we're hyper aware of what's going on. Our minds can see something is different, something is not right. Time is going by even faster. I don't know if you guys notice it, but like the days are just going by fast, unless you're at work and you want the day to go by fast, and then the day goes by slow. But whenever you want the days to go by like slow, then the days go by fast. And whenever you want the days to go by fast, they go by slow. And people say that's a perception of time, maybe, or it could just be the archons messing with your mind just so they can torment you and loose you more, right? But the way this world is designed and orchestrated, like if you don't comply, then you get ostracized and you get punished. Like if you don't wear like uniform, like certain schools, you have to wear uniforms, right? And they have dress codes. And if you don't meet these dress codes and these rules and regulations, you get ostracized. They won't let you in the school. They'll kick you out. So they want everybody to be uniform, and then they have everybody. Then they teach you the same things in class, and they just regurgitate history, and and they tell you who was right, and they tell you who's wrong, right? And it's just brainwashed, man. It has such a negative effect for future generations. Like, I feel so bad for future generations that have no type of sense of reality. They're not going to have any sense of morality. They're not going to even have a sense of anything because they're going to be so brainwashed, that they're going to literally believe whatever's on that government infrastructure and that government screen. I mean, how many people even, like, where are our legendary philosophers? Where's the next Terence McKenna? Where? Like, from the young people. These people are not read. They don't know no books. They don't even know what books to even look at to gain spiritual knowledge in anything. They don't know what to look for. They don't know what authors to read. They don't know what to look for. Like, they're lost. That's why, like, certain people are rare. Certain people are like, they're like once in a lifetime, right? These are like people that they come in, they bring the wisdom, they bring the knowledge, and people understand it and they take it in. And then these are the people, the ones that end up to get eliminated the fastest, right? Terence McKenna passed away from a rare brain cancer, and it was the most aggressive brain cancer. Very suspicious. Kind of like how Bob Marley passed away when the CIA put that little what was it? It's like a little needle they put in one of his soccer shoes. Then that's how and that's what eventually got Bob Marley sick or whatever. It's like a whole documentary explaining it, right? But the CIA is behind a lot of evil things. I'll say that. But anyway, this world, man, it's like when you try to be yourself, you stick to yourself. You don't bother nobody. You don't start beef with nobody. You just mind your business. That's when it seems like this world wants to try to give you the most type of problems. But then you got people out there in the world where they love causing problems. They love starting crap. And they're never around anybody who wants to match that smoke. And if they run into those people, then you already know it leads to a Wild West battle. Like Billy the Kid and Jesse James, it leads to one of those type of battles. But have you ever noticed certain times when people get smart with you, when people try you, when people try to disrespect you to your face, and try to say things to you, try to push your buttons? Have you ever noticed that if it was anybody else besides you in that situation, that person would probably be in the hospital? So this God or these archons, they set it up in a way where somebody can yell at you or talk to you crazy, but they wouldn't try that on nobody else who's about that life for real. And you'll be around these people that be trying to test you, and you're just trying to keep your job. You don't want to get fired. You got bills to pay and shit. You got grown adult stuff with adult responsibilities, which is translation for paying bills, right? I really wish all of us can make it in our dreams and our dreams and aspirations and ambitions. I really wish we all could reach the top and we all could be happy and we all could have a certain amount of just a quality of life, like a quality of life that's just effective for our mental health, that's just effective for our pockets, meaning that we have money, peace, and tranquility. Because this is ridiculous, man. We keep going through the shit we go through. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, okay, are you like, do you want me to snap? I go through this, I go through that, I go through this, I go through that, and then I don't get not even a girl. So let me get this straight. This universe can throw all these obstacles at me, let me be homeless with nothing. But then I can't find a girl, like you have some ninja who just came out of prison yesterday. And, with this, like a ninja with the samurai. Yes, YouTube. Yeah. And you have this ninja that has a shurikens, and he just got out of prison yesterday, from fighting with the samurai, right? And you have a woman that's wealthy, and she'll take him in, and he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any school. He doesn't have any of those things. And this girl would take him in and, give him sex, give him, buy him a new console, buy him a new Xbox, buy him a new computer, buy him food, let him drive her car, all that. And he cheats on her and do all that. But then a guy like me, a good guy like me in this position, there's no cute girl coming with a lot of money to come save me. And it's like, damn, I see something in this guy. Let me help this guy. Let me use my womanly magic and heal his heart, heal his mind, heal his spirit, and let's see how great this man can become, right? Like, why can that happen for me, right? That's what I want to happen, but I don't have the looks for that, like Jeremy Meeks was in prison. Jeremy Meeks was in prison, and he got a billionaire to pretty much save him out of his situation and put him in a good position. Now, I'm not saying it's good for men to get saved like that. We're men. We got to save our own selves. We can't expect a handout or nothing. But I'm just saying that there's certain people in this world that will get opportunities that you can only dream of. And yet these people just take those opportunities for granted. They don't understand how good that opportunity it is. And people like us in this position, it's imperative that we get wealth. It's imperative that we get to a position where we're independent from being under anybody, because our families, our friends, our associates, a lot of it is toxic to our mental health and is not conducive to a healthy spiritual life or a healthy life at all. A lot of us, man, we want peace, but we can't find peace. We want happiness, but we can't be happy. We're angry, we're sad, we're depressed, we're stressed. There's so much things in this world that makes you just angry and makes you just want to go crazy. I don't understand it, man. Napoleon Bonaparte, right? A lot of people, when Napoleon was coming up, they used to look at Napoleon like, oh, he's a little short little guy, or he's a little officer, or whatever. This little artillery captain or artillery lieutenant, he's whatever. And then Napoleon started winning battles, because remember, Napoleon was short, but Napoleon pretty much stuck to his guns, and it was himself, right? And so that's a lesson in that. Just you have to be yourself, and you have to really focus, and it's difficult because to focus, you have to have energy and some modicum of confidence. But a lot of us, we have no confidence because we have no accomplishments, and we have no accomplishments because we have no confidence. You see how that it's like a snake biting its tail. You see how it just goes on in perpetuity. I really wish, man, that some higher being, a good one, a good God could come and help us all. Because the way this world is designed, the way this world is formatted, it doesn't seem that it's to make us grow spiritually, to really be independent and do our own things. It seems like it's meant to wound us, to put deep spiritual wounds inside of our souls. Just think about it. A lot of us, if we try to be ourselves, we get attacked for trying to be ourselves. But then you can't be anybody but yourself. You can't fake it, right? Even though some people try, people can see right through them. Like, you have to be yourself, and even if being yourself means that you're going to be ostracized, eventually, you came into this world by yourself, and when you take your final breath, you're going to be by yourself. No one's going to hold your hand when you go into those dimensions and those realms, and that you're not coming back to this realm. You'll never have a hamburger again, a milkshake. You'll never play Xbox again. You'll never go on Instagram and see those beautiful Instagram models. You'll never have any of those things again. And you're going into a place which could be terrifying, right? This is the fate that awaits all of us. It's like a looming invisible shadow dagger at the back of our napes, like Attack on Titan, right? That anime. It's what world in it? What world is like when everybody's struggling? Like, everybody you see in the morning going to work, trying to pay bills. In 100 years, every last person is going to be gone. It's only going to be their offspring, their children and grandchildren that's going to remain. So everybody that's just, oh man, I got to pay these bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. I go, oh my God, I'm stressing. I got to do this. I got to do that. All that's going to be, it's not going to matter in another 100 years from now. And that's what's crazy about this world, is that there's such an emphasis on money. There's such an emphasis on accumulating resources in order to gain power to pretty much abuse people. I mean, that's how companies become $1 billion company. You don't become a multi-billion dollar company like Microsoft when you're just, paying your share of the taxes and paying your employees well. Sure, Microsoft employees get paid pretty decent, but that the company's paying them pennies on a dollar from what they're really worth. And nowadays, these companies are just firing all the human workers and they're replacing it with artificial intelligence integration. And these integration systems are going to be merciless and ruthless, right? So the future is going to be very interesting, man. And I wonder how this future is going to shape us. I wonder how it's going to shape our morality, how it's going to shape our form of being, how it's going to shape our thoughts and our actions. And I wonder what this future holds, man. Like, I'm really interested for the future, Even though I know my future is going to be horrible, I want to see how the world's going to be 50 years from now. I want to see how oppressive, how evil, how sadistic it's going to be. And I want to see how people are going to react to it. So far, people have been reacting like sheep being led to the slaughter, right? You go to those butcher house, like if people see how your food is made, now I can see why people want to become vegetarian. If you ever watch those documentaries where they show those neutralization farms for animals when they turn animals into food, it's very gruesome. It's like a hell realm. It's like that. Like, that's hell. You can't tell me that's not hell. You can't tell me we're not living in hell. We're living in some form of spiritual hell created by an evil God who declares himself the realest and truest God, and he rules with fear, intimidation, pain, and agony. And yet people want to worship him. It makes no sense. And people say, this is one thing I can't stand when people say, oh, it's all part of God's plan. Yeah, it's a part of the demiurge's plan to loose you. Yeah, to get your negative energetic manifestation on frequency. Yeah, it's part of his plan. It's part of his plan to make sure your life is screwed up. Like, you ever wonder why you keep going through these negative events in your life? And you're like, damn, I didn't do anything to deserve that. Meanwhile, you have assholes who are causing problems to people and nothing bad ever happens to them. Right? Or at least nothing as serious as what happened to you happens to them. So it's crazy. And this God has the nerve to want to judge. Oh, after you pass away, I'm going to give you a judgment and see if you were a good person or not. How can you judge me when you win in an imperfect world? How can a God judge my soul when he didn't even create a perfect world? It's one thing you created a perfect world and I was born into wealth and power and I had all this stuff and I had the girl that I wanted. I had everything that I dreamed of, and then I was evil. That's one thing. But it's another thing if I was just struggling just to survive. If I was struggling mentally to not, jump off the top of the Empire State Building or, something like that, or jump out of an airplane like a Call of Duty mission. And I struggle with all type of mental health issues, struggling with all types of depression, struggling with all types of things in life. And yet I kept pushing on. I kept trying on. I didn't hurt nobody. Meanwhile, you got people out here who doing all types of evil, and this God blesses them with wealth and power and resources. So this God loves blessing evil people, point blank period, right? This God likes putting evil people in your life. He likes putting people in your life that are parasites. They see the divine spark. They see that there's something different from you, which is why they latch on to you like a parasite. One of those parasitic fish that latches on to some of those big giant whales or those giant sharks. They just latch on because they're just parasites. So when the shark eats, they get to eat as well. It's ridiculous. Like, these beings are parasitic beings. They feed off of divine light. And a lot of us, we have divine light, which is why people start things with us for no reason. You have somebody who you don't even know, right? That'd be waging a war against you. And you don't even know this person's doing this. And, like you have no idea. And this person really has put you in their mind as some type of caricature or character. And you're just a regular guy online just talking about your life on the internet like everybody else. And it's like, what are the odds of this God putting somebody like that define you and watch you? People that are just evil. What are the odds of that? You have people who get way more views than you, who get way more subscribers, and yet they don't have people in their audience like that who are trying to who are stalking them to the point where you have to get police involved. Like, that's crazy. To be a channel so small, not even like I don't even get that many views, but you attracted some of the most evil people in the world. You think that was an accident? No, it was the demiurge doing it on purpose, to making sure to keep a leash on me, right? But I think we got other people who got way bigger subscribers and channels. Nobody mess with them. They talk about the exact same thing. I talk about females, bops, and thoughts. I talk about how bad this life is. They do the exact same videos I pretty much make. Nobody bothers them, right? And then I noticed these people that attack people like us in this position, they always did. They always attack the creators that have my skin color configuration. I wonder if there's any correlation with that. But I noticed they don't go after people like Loser Max and anything like that. They try to, but then they left him alone eventually. You know, they don't really bother him. So it's like these people pick and choose. That's what I'm saying. My channel, like, I don't know, bro. It's just weird, bro. I just got to just stay myself and maintain. But it's like, when you got haters in your own family, when you got haters, when you just go to the grocery store based on your skin color configuration, you start to just look at the world for just what it really is. It's just a hell realm, torture, piece of crap world that's designed to break you. That's designed that's designed to put you in your quote unquote place. And this world is not designed for you to really rise up, for you to really achieve your dreams and ambitions, really be great. It's not designed for that. It's really this world is literally designed for you to be broken. It's literally designed for you to be subservient and obedient to the systems of oppression, which lead to stress and depression. There's a reason why people are stressed and depressed. People are stressed and depressed because they want freedom, they want peace, they want happiness, they want tranquility. They don't want to be surrounded by toxic people all day long for 8 hours a day. Some people 12 hours a day. And then get paid pennies on a dollar with not even enough money to survive. Food is expensive, groceries expensive, and if you go like order from DoorDash, you may end up spending $45 on DoorDash, and it's like, damn. Wow. Don't go on Carl's Jr. on DoorDash. You get 2 cheeseburgers. That's like $45. It's like, oh hell no, no. You must go to the grocery store, get you some ground turkey. Some brioche bun buns, some Swiss cheese. Pickles, tomatoes, like whatever condiments you want. And right. Make your own damn burgers. For real, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, the world is designed to make you lose yourself. I never wanted to be this type of person where my heart is becoming cold, right? I always want to be happy and loving and caring and smiling and opening the door for girls and, being nice to females and saying how beautiful they are. But women have shitted on me. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, a lot of women have really crapped on me and showed me their true colors. Like, I've been through a lot of things. And once you go through enough situations in life, you start seeing the patterns forming. You start noticing patterns. And I think that's one of our best assets for guys like us in this position, is to notice patterns, pattern recognition. It's also a military tactic as well for reconnaissance, pattern recognition, watching an enemy base, watching enemy patrols, watching enemies when they switch patrols, watching who comes in, who's this. If the general lands on a helicopter in the morning, and what time does he take back off? Does he leave base? Does he stay on base? Is there another forward operating base nearby? It's reconnaissance, right? And people like us, we have to pay attention. Like, you get that new job, you got to watch who's the person that frowned at you. Was it a manager? Somebody you have to be working with? Like, okay, now you see that manager frowned at you. Now you got to work around that manager. So now you already know they don't like you. They frowned at you. So now you got to take that information in, and you got to kind of walk on the eggshells. But make sure you make sure you do your work right. Make sure that you don't slack off, because this person already has it out for you. Once somebody has it out for you, man, you can't really back. Right? And it's not a game. Like, people like us, like, it's not a game. People like to make jokes like about our life, but we're really living this. This is not a game. It's not no faking. It's not no LARP. Like, these girls tell me, I'm so lonely. Yeah, I'm so lonely. Oh my gosh. Nah, we're really lonely for real. Nobody wants to be around a grown man that has nothing. But there's people that want to be around a female that has nothing, because she has something. It's her reproductive organs, her beauty, her feminine energy, her vibrancy. She's a female. Just put her in a dress and see how beautiful she is. That's all a female has to do. Like, to look sexy. As a female, just has to wear a dress. Just wear a dress. Or wear a short skirt, like just look sexy, look feminine. Get your nails done, get your hair did, get your feet did. Yes, you don't want to look at you want no ogre feet, you want no ogre toes. Get your feet did. Lotion up that body in that oil. Put some good perfume on. Look sexy, girl. And the problem is, girls like that don't want nothing to do with guys like us in this position. This shit is brutal, man. Like, it's really brutal being in this position, bro. you know, because one time you start off as somebody that you love life, you're happy, you have these dreams, you have ambitions, you have a certain type of happiness in a way. And then it erodes and it corrodes and it explodes and you have nothing in the end. And you're just like, what the hell? Like, really, life? You're not going to give me no break. You're not going to cut me no slack. You're not going to give me nothing. You're just going to keep on attacking me and attacking me and attacking me. You're not going to let no money come in my life. So why is this God such a good God, but he doesn't let money come in our life? Life-changing money, not a couple of $100s. Life-changing money. How come this God doesn't want certain people to acquire real life-changing money? Like, a lot of us in this situation, it feels like, doesn't matter how hard we work, doesn't matter what we do, it feels like this God something has it out for us, that it doesn't want us to become successful. It doesn't want us to become wealthy. It doesn't want us to become economically stabilized. It wants us to be in an economic destabilization forever. That's what it feels like. Like, money is the most important thing in this world. Money is what makes the world go round. Money is what makes everything or anything happen. Is money. You need money to drink water. you need money to get food. You need money to get clothes. You need money for everything. You need money for the internet. You need money for your phone. You need money. But they never tell you how to behave when you pass away. They don't have pass away training. So when you pass away and you have no esoteric knowledge, you don't know what you're seeing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what being, you can have a being appear, a light approach you and say, I'm Jesus, and you just believe it. And it's an evil archon, deceptive being tricking you so it can soul trap you and bring you back into the light. I have people, even in my family, people talk about, well, I've seen Jesus. He was a bright light and this, that, and he covered the whole room and the room smelled like blessed olive oil and this, that. And I'm not denying that didn't happen, but what I'm saying is that being was probably an evil, wicked, sadistic being, probably an archon, I'm not denying the supernatural things, but I'm saying that some of these supernatural things and supernatural entities are enemies to humanity and they're deceivers, They try to deceive themselves as beings of pure light. And they're able to deceive people. They're able to shapeshift. They can shapeshift into your family member that passed away and call your name. And that's going to affect the emotion. It's going to evoke and provoke an emotion inside of you. And then you're going to respond to that. This is something somebody, an old, excuse me. It's a few things an old Native American woman told me a long time ago when I went to Camp High Hill. This is like back in when I was in 6th grade. Jesus, how long ago was that? I think that was the early aughts. But in 6th grade, I went to a place called, was it 6th grade or was it 7th grade? Which grade was it? I think it was 6th or 7th or 8th. No, it wasn't 8th grade. It was 6th grade. Where I went to a place called Camp High Hill. Camp High Hill. It's closed and it's abandoned now. And then now it's like ghost stories there. It was ghost stories when we were there and there's some supernatural stuff going on. I think on my second channel, I'll talk about my late night stories, some of my ghost stories at Camp High Hill. Because there was some freaky shit you see like in Dead Space, for real. And I had people to this day, that that I contacted over the years, who we stayed in touch over the years, and we still talk about it from time to time. Last time I talked about that ghost stories in Camp High Hill was like on somebody from Xbox Live. It was like 2015, so it's been a minute. But yeah, anyway. This whole situation we find ourselves in, it's scary. It's scary to be a human in this situation. It's even more scary to be a human that has no type of money. It's like every day there's a new terror you have to face. Every day there's a new situation that you don't want to be in, that you have to be in every single day. And it's like, how long, like, like this, this can't be normal. This can't be normalized, you know, where being miserable and not being allowed to be yourself, not being allowed to be happy and joyous and watch your anime and just be who you really are. Like, that's something that's frowned upon. But somebody that, causes all types of mischief and evil and this, that, and the third, that's something that's celebrated and regulated and escalated to the top, or elevated to the top. Like, are you serious? What happened to good manners? Do you guys remember people used to be a lot more nicer about 10, 20 years ago? People used to be a lot more nicer. Like, people used to say hello to you. Hi, hello. Hi, hello. How you doing? Hi, good morning, good morning. Like, I remember that. You come outside, you see the old white lady walking her dog. Good morning, good morning. You walk past, hi, hello, hi, But now it's like, people look at you, they frown. And even back then, now, even back in the days, people were assholes too. Don't get it twisted. It wasn't some Mr. Rogers Happy Land back then, or Blues Clues or nothing like that. It was dry. I remember going through problems back then too. But I'm saying there was more kindness overall with just general people. Now, most people are just like, they look at you like you're battling in Vietnam. It's just ridiculous. People side eye you. People, they seem to, they just don't like you, right? And it's nothing like, and you have done nothing to these people. That's the thing about it. Is like, when you've done nothing to somebody and they attack you, it's just it just shows you how evil and how much of a piece of shit that person really is. And it's why I don't like engaging with people, because I don't want no association with idiots, fools, or miscreants. It's no point. What do I have with somebody that's an idiot? I'm somebody that's trying to go on a true spiritual wealth journey, gaining and accumulating spiritual resilience, spiritual persistence, spiritual intelligence. So, I can get the gnosis, so I can get the wisdom, so I can get the knowledge. So when I pass away, I can try to find myself back to the pleroma, or back to the realm where I need to find myself, so I can collect myself, and so I can heal myself and heal my soul from all the pain and torture and torment it's been going through. Because I don't want to pass away and then be reincarnated again in this life. I don't want to, because my next life, I could be reincarnated as a boy in India, but I guarantee I won't be reincarnated into a millionaire's family. My dad's a millionaire, my mom's a millionaire, my grandfather's a millionaire. We're some type of, Illuminati connected family, When I turn 16, I get a brand new Benz, right? It's like, damn, right? So you turn 18, you get your own house, not an apartment, you get a house, you get some assets, you get business. It's like, okay, well, that can make life a little bit more manageable, but it doesn't take away the wickedness of this world, right? Just because somebody's in a private plane having a cheesecake and winning a sweepstake doesn't mean that this world is great. It just means that somebody's surviving in a hell realm. We're still in prison, right? We're still in prison, man. And I want to escape this prison. I want to escape this evil, sadistic, twisted life. Like, I really want to be happy. I want to be free. I don't want to be always in a position where my guard is up. It's tiring. I got to deal with real demons in real life and real evil spirits and entities. And it's crazy because I just want peace, man. I just want to have a lot of money so I can have peace. I just want a lot of money so I can have peace, right? And it's difficult because most people are not going to become rich. Most of us will never know the feeling of having $1 million. But then you have some little asshole who's doing TikTok videos and some girl who's doing only frauds, and she's making 20 million, 30 million, 50 million, 200 million a year, showing her private parts all over the internet. And I'm thinking, who are these men that are buying it? Who are these men that are buying these OnlyFans girls' content? Who? Like it's probably the same people that be trolling black pill content. That's probably that's probably why they didn't like me, because I'm talking about the thoughts and the bops. And these guys got triggered. I hurt their feelings because I was talking about these female thoughts, and Bob's just telling the truth about female nature like everybody else does. And these blue pillars, they'll come on our channels, and these are just blue pill normies. And so they'll hear us telling the truth. And somebody like me, I have a very unique voice. And I think that's like my bread and butter, my voice. The same with Total Biscuit when he was alive. God rest his soul. So I'm able to attract people, like I think a little bit more emotionally, which is interesting. But also it's a double-edged blade. You get people that love you, you get people that dislike you. But the people that dislike you, rather than just being normal people that just dislike you, they see something in your content they don't like, they don't agree, they may call you a bad name, then they press dislike and carry on about their lives. I somehow imagine to get people that are highly invested in me, to the point where you have to get the police involved, Like these people are, it's very weird, right? Where I'm just a regular, normal guy. I'm nothing special. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I'm just a regular guy. There's thousands of people on this website, yet these people focus on me. So I let you know that the demiurge is behind a lot of this, and these are the same people that will come to your concert and try to end you. So I got to be extremely careful. That's what happened to my baby girl, Christina Grimmie. Some obsessed fan, who was just obsessed with her, comes to her concert and does the unthinkable. So I really got to watch my back in this world, right? I always got to stay strapped.